Hey guys, how we doing? It is Thursday, September the 28th, 2023. Today's video is going to be my favorite Styx albums. I don't have the entire catalog, but I have the ones that I listen to the most here. And enough where you guys can get an idea of what I like and what kind of order they're in, so on and so forth. So, let's get started here with this guy here from 1999. Brave New World. It's a rock album. Just this album does not feel very cohesive. It's just as Dennis has said, it needed more work. Let's work on it some more. It just seems very incohesive and not cohesive rather, and incomplete. Despite the fact that it's a very long album with a lot of songs. It's not terrible, but not their best stuff. So that makes the bottom of my list. From this point on to the top, I like all these albums, and it's actually pretty hard deciding from day to day which one I like the best. But I will say, the remaining Styx albums I like best. I really do like the remaining ones a lot. And they get regular play. Like this guy here from 1973, Styx 2, says, "You need love, I'm going to make you feel it." Lady is on here. And they even... some little bit of prog sound, a little bit prog-like on that album, a little bit too. They were still finding their way as a band and trying to figure out what worked. Of the Wooden Nickel albums, that's the one that I would get, because that's the one. It's not a very long album per se, but the tunes are really catchy on there if you sit down and you listen to them. From there. Well, I guess we'll break out some of the vinyl. All right, we got Cornerstone. This has the smash hit, Babe, of course. And first time. Don't be afraid of love. But this is, this is all right. Some of the tracks on here are really catchy and stuff. Definitely one you want to have in the collection. I like it. Actually just listened to this last weekend, believe it or not. Alright, what are we going to move on to next? Alright, Crystal Ball. Tommy's first album with the band. I like this one for the title track. That's a really great tune. And I like Mademoiselle on here, too. That's a really catchy song Tommy sings. Not bad. Okay. We're going to move on to next. You know what? I think I'm far enough up on the list. I'm going to go ahead and do it. Now, this is one that everybody that's done a Styx album ranking video always wants to put near the bottom of their list with this thing. Okay. I'm from New Jersey. So is my boy Glenn Burtnick. They brought him in to sing on this album because Tommy went off to do Damn Yankees and make a couple of albums with them. This is a great album. Alright? Love is a Ritual. Great song. I crank that usually every other day. Show Me the Way. Yeah, okay, it's a ballad. You know what? Ballads sell. People like them. Now this did suffer from not great album sales, and A&M, I think A&M didn't renew their contract with them or whatever after this one. But you know what? The one thing people have to remember about this, all right, and Edge of the Century also is on here too. The title track is pretty good too. The one thing people have to remember about this particular album is that this came out at a time where, I've heard people say, okay, Love is the Ritual kind of sounds like a Def Leppard type style song, something like Pour Some Sugar on Me or whatever, that kind of a song. This came out at a time when rock and roll music was starting to change. You were on the tail end of that I hate the term, but hair bands, glam metal. I hate that shit because I love that style of music. I have a lot of it, ton of it in my collection. But, that was a time when rock and roll was changing. So I wouldn't be surprised if they went and got Glenn and did this in like 88, 87 or 88 instead of 90. This thing would have probably sold a hell of a lot more copies. I think. Because that style of music that's on there was still hanging on pretty well at that point. It hadn't fizzled out yet. So I think that just gets a bad rap just simply because of the time that it came out. I mean, take a look at Damn Yankees. It sounds a lot like the Damn Yankees record from 1990. Love is a Ritual and, what the hell's that song on the Damn Yankees record? Coming of Age or Runaway or, any one of those tracks on there that Tommy sings. It sounds a lot like it. It was that style of music. But then, Here Today, Gone Tomorrow, as soon as Nirvana came out and destroyed everything. So anyway, I digress. But we love Glenn Burtnick. We're from New Jersey. And you know what? That's not at the bottom of my list. You know what? That album's great. It produced a hit single. So therefore it's it's near the top tier of my favorite Styx albums. On to this guy here, 1981, Paradise Theater. Obviously, Rockin' the Paradise, Too Much Time on My Hands, Snowblind, Halfpenny, Two Penny. This thing's great. This is a phenomenal record. Let's go through it towards a concept album. But hey, this was a hell of a concept album. I really like this. And this sounds like a Styx record. All right. Now, back to 1975 for this guy. Equinox. Lorelei. Sweet Madam Blue, man. This thing's great. Got a couple, got a JY tune on here that's really good, too. Like Dennis said, this album here, because it was mixed better, it was recorded 6 months after the album that preceded it, yet it sounds like a leap ahead of like 10 years because of the mixing process. And I tell you, definitely one worth having. Just listen to this one last weekend, too. All right. Moving along. And you know what? We don't need to do number 1 and number 2 here. Everybody knows. All right. Pieces of 8, The Grand Illusion. Everybody knows. Those albums, these two are phenomenal. There's nothing I can say that hasn't already been said about them. All right. The Grand Illusion, Fooling Yourself, The Angry Young Man, Superstars, my goodness, Come Sail Away, and you go into Pieces of 8, you got Renegade, Blue Collar Man, one of my favorite Styx songs, Great White Hope, another good one, and these albums, cover to cover, are phenomenal, no filler on them, and I have to say, my two favorites, and actually, that copy of The Grand Illusion, I just upgraded my copy because the original copy I had on vinyl was a deep scratch on Man in the Wilderness, and it skipped a little bit. So it was time to upgrade that. So I found a really nice copy. Last time I was over to, where was that at? I think it was Positively Records over in Levittown, PA. He had a really nice copy of it, so I picked it up. And it was a good price, too. Still pick these records up for a pretty good price. So, anyway. So that's my favorite Styx albums that are in my collection. They all get listened to on a regular basis. And, I hope you enjoyed this video. I know some of you may disagree with me with some of my choices, but, hey, that's where we're at. And that's where it stands. So, Y'all have a goody goody, and we'll see you on the next video.